Most people grow up believing that winning in life means being first, getting the best grades, earning the most money, buying the biggest house, or achieving the highest status. From a young age, we're taught that life is a race. But here's the truth: life is not a race, it's a journey. And winning in life is not about crossing a finish line before others. It's about moving forward with purpose, consistency, and integrity. The real key to winning in life is not speed, it's direction. You can run faster than everyone else, but if you're running in the wrong direction, you're not winning. You're just getting lost faster. True success begins the moment you stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's when you realize that progress, not perfection, defines victory. Winning in life is about understanding why you do what you do. People who chase only the job, the money, the fame, often end up feeling empty when they get it. But those who start with why, a clear sense of purpose, find fulfillment in the process, not just the results. When your actions are aligned with your purpose, every step becomes meaningful, even when it's small. Consistency is another part of the real key. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. You just need to keep moving. Every small effort compounds over time. Think of it like planting seeds. You can't plant today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, nurture it, protect it, and one day that seed becomes shade not just for you, but for others. And here's something most people overlook. Winning in life is not about being better than others. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. The moment you start measuring your worth by other people's achievements, you lose sight of your own growth. But when you focus on self-improvement, on learning, on growing, you stay in control of your journey. Finally, real winners help others win. Success that isolates you isn't success at all. When you lift others, share your knowledge, and inspire people around you, you multiply your impact. The strongest leaders are not those who stand on top alone, but those who bring others up with them. Winning in life is not a moment, it's a mindset. It's about clarity of purpose, consistency of effort, and compassion in action. The world doesn't need more people who win by defeating others. It needs more people who win by becoming better humans. That's the real key to winning in life. 5 keynotes of the speech: winning in life is not about speed, but direction. Progress matters more than perfection. True success begins with purpose. Knowing why you do what you do brings fulfillment. Consistency and small daily actions lead to long-term growth and success. Real victory is self-improvement, becoming better than who you were yesterday. The greatest winners lift others. Success multiplies when shared. Winning in life is not about speed, but direction. Too many people confuse being busy with being productive. They run fast, they work hard, they chase goals relentlessly, but few stop to ask themselves where they're actually headed. Life is full of people sprinting in circles, chasing illusions of success that others have defined for them. The tragedy is not in moving slowly, it's in moving quickly towards something that doesn't truly matter. The truth is, direction will always be more powerful than speed, because even slow progress in the right direction will get you further than fast progress in the wrong one. When you move too fast without clarity, you make decisions that satisfy the moment but harm the future. You may earn quick results or temporary applause, but those things rarely bring lasting fulfillment. Real growth requires reflection. It requires pausing long enough to understand who you are, what you value, and what kind of life you actually want to live. The pressure to move quickly often comes from comparison, looking at what others have achieved and feeling behind. But you're not behind, you're simply on your own path. Every person's journey unfolds differently, and comparing your pace to someone else's only creates frustration. The moment you stop running their race, you start walking your own. Direction gives meaning to your effort. Imagine 2 people climbing mountains. One knows exactly which peak they want to reach, and the other climbs aimlessly, just trying to go higher than everyone else. The first may move slowly, stopping to plan and adjust, but every step brings them closer to their purpose. The second might move faster, but every step could lead them farther from fulfillment. That's what happens when life becomes a race against others instead of a mission aligned with your values. When your direction is clear, even setbacks feel purposeful because you know they are part of your journey, not the end of it. The obsession with speed often comes from fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear of not being enough. But those fears only distract you from what really matters. You can't build a meaningful life by rushing through it. You build it by being intentional, by making decisions that reflect your values instead of your insecurities. Speed may get you attention, but direction gives you peace. Every major success story you admire was not built in a rush. It was built with patience, vision, and discipline. The people who truly win in life are not the ones who started fast, but the ones who stayed steady. Think of how nature works. A seed takes time to grow into a tree. If you dig it up every few days to check its progress, you kill it. Growth doesn't happen in bursts of speed. It happens through consistent effort in the right conditions. The same applies to your dreams. You can't rush your way to purpose. You must give yourself the grace to move slowly but surely, trusting that every small action in the right direction compounds over time. When you focus on direction, even your slowest days are valuable because you're still aligned with where you want to go. Life rewards clarity, not haste. Before you run, know why you're running. Before you climb, know what mountain you're climbing. Without that, Every victory feels hollow because it's not truly yours. It's borrowed from someone else's idea of success. Direction grounds you in meaning. It helps you say no to distractions that don't serve your purpose and yes to opportunities that align with it. That kind of clarity brings confidence. Not the loud kind that boasts about success, but the quiet kind that stays calm even when others rush past. There will always be people who seem to be ahead, those who achieve faster, who appear more successful, who look like they've figured it all out. But remember, speed fades when the road runs out. If they're on the wrong path, their pace means nothing. You, on the other hand, can take slower steps, make thoughtful choices, and still reach a destination that fills your life with meaning. What truly matters is not how quickly you move, but how aligned your movement is with your values, your vision, and your sense of purpose. When you choose direction over speed, you stop living for validation and start living for fulfillment. You stop rushing to prove something and start growing to become something. Every day becomes progress, even if it's slow, because it's leading you somewhere that matters. That's the difference between a life of constant chasing and a life of meaningful winning. The real winners in life are not those who reach the finish line first, but those who never lose sight of where they're going. True success begins with purpose. Knowing why you do what you do brings fulfillment. Most people spend their lives chasing goals that sound impressive, but feel empty once achieved. They climb ladders only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. That happens when you live by the expectations of others instead of your own sense of purpose. Purpose is not just a word. It's the foundation of everything meaningful. It's the difference between existing and truly living. When you have a clear why, your actions carry weight, your struggles make sense, and your victories feel real. Without purpose, even success can feel hollow. Every person has the desire to achieve something great, but greatness without purpose is direct. You might earn the promotion, the fame, or the wealth, but if you can't answer why you wanted it, you'll find yourself searching for the next thing, constantly restless and unsatisfied. Purpose gives your ambition depth. It transforms your work from a task into a calling, and your challenges from burdens into opportunities for growth. When you know your why, you no longer measure success by external approval. You measure it by internal alignment. Purpose is not discovered overnight. It's built over time through reflection and experience. It's not about what others expect from you, but about what gives you meaning. Sometimes purpose reveals itself quietly in the things that bring you joy, in the moments when you lose track of time, or in the causes that ignite your passion. Other times it emerges from pain, from challenges that force you to grow, from losses that reshape your priorities, from experiences that teach you what truly matters. Purpose is often born where comfort ends. It demands honesty, the courage to admit what you truly want, even when it's different from what the world wants for you. When your purpose is clear, your decisions become simpler. You stop saying yes to everything because not everything aligns with your why. You learn to choose what moves you closer to your purpose, not what just looks good on paper. Purpose gives you the strength to endure difficulties because you understand the reason behind your struggle. When you face obstacles without a purpose, every setback feels like a failure. But when your actions are guided by purpose, even pain becomes part of progress. You start to see challenges as lessons instead of punishments. People often mistake motivation for purpose. Motivation is temporary. It fades when results don't appear quickly. Purpose, however, is permanent. It fuels you even when no one is watching, even when things get tough. It's what keeps you going when the excitement fades. Purpose doesn't need applause to keep moving. It draws energy from within. The most successful people are not those who have the most resources, but those who have a powerful reason behind their actions. Their purpose becomes their compass, guiding them through uncertainty and failure. In a world obsessed with results, purpose reminds you that the process matters just as much. You can reach your goals faster when your why is strong because it gives meaning to every effort. It creates focus. It removes distractions. It helps you stay grounded when things don't go as planned. A person with purpose doesn't need to be pushed. They are pulled by their own vision. They don't wake up thinking, I have to do this. They wake up knowing, I get to do this. That shift in mindset is where real fulfillment begins. When your work aligns with your purpose, it stops feeling like work. You experience a sense of flow where effort and joy merge. You contribute not because you have to, but because you want to. And when you contribute from a place of purpose, your impact multiplies. You inspire others not by what you say, but by how you live. People can sense when your actions come from authenticity. Purpose gives your presence power. It makes your life story something others want to learn from, not just watch. Purpose also gives meaning to success beyond material gain. It turns achievements into service. When your purpose connects with something greater than yourself, your success stops being just about you. It becomes about what you can give back. True fulfillment doesn't come from what you accumulate, but from what you contribute. Purpose-driven people don't just seek to win, they seek to make their wins meaningful. They understand that impact is the highest form of success. In the end, purpose is what keeps you steady in a world that constantly tries to distract you. It's your anchor when things fall apart, your fuel when energy runs low, your light when the path seems dark. When you know why you do what you do, Life no longer feels like a series of random events. It becomes a story with meaning. Every choice, every challenge, every victory fits into a bigger picture. That's why true success doesn't begin with what you have or what you achieve. It begins with knowing why you're here and what you're meant to do. Consistency and small daily actions lead to long-term growth and success. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a day and underestimate what they can achieve in a year of steady effort. The truth is, greatness is never built overnight. It's built quietly through repetition, patience, and commitment to small steps done with intention. Success isn't a single big leap. It's a series of tiny, almost invisible movements that compound over time. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the achievers, the starters from the finishers. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day. In a world that glorifies instant results, consistency feels underrated. People chase quick wins and lose faith when they don't see immediate outcomes. But life doesn't reward intensity, it rewards persistence. The small habits you repeat daily shape your identity far more than the rare moments of extreme effort. You don't need to be extraordinary once, you need to be consistent always. Even a small action, when done consistently, becomes powerful. The greatest transformation doesn't come from a burst of motivation, but from disciplined effort, quietly repeated. Think about how water shapes rock, not through force, but through persistence. Drop by drop, over time, it carves valleys and smooths stones. The same is true for personal growth. Every act of consistency, every time you choose discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, progress over procrastination, you're shaping your character, strengthening your mindset, and building the foundation for success. These small moments might seem insignificant in isolation, but together they create momentum. And once momentum builds, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to take action when motivation is high, but the real test is what you do when enthusiasm fades. Winners are not those who never feel tired or uninspired. They are the ones who keep going despite it. They understand that progress doesn't depend on emotion. It depends on commitment. They know that missing one day doesn't ruin the journey, but giving up does. When you make consistency your priority, you stop relying on willpower alone and start relying on systems and routines that keep you aligned even when motivation wavers. The key to consistency is simplicity. Many people fail because they try to do too much too fast. They create unrealistic plans, burn out, and quit before results appear. But the people who succeed are those who focus on small, sustainable actions, the ones they can repeat every day without losing balance. Success is not built on massive effort once in a while. It's built on manageable effort daily. You don't need to transform your life in a week. You need to improve it by 1% each day. That 1% compounds. A small step forward every day becomes a giant leap over time. Consistency also builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you repeatedly follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that your word has weight. You start to believe in your own reliability. That self-trust becomes a quiet confidence that strengthens every area of your life. The opposite is also true. Every time you break your own promise, even in small ways, you weaken your belief in your ability to succeed. Success begins when your actions start matching your intentions consistently. It's about aligning who you say you are with what you actually do. There will always be days when progress feels invisible, when effort feels wasted, when nothing seems to move. But those are the days that matter most, because consistency is not measured by how fast you move, but by how committed you remain. Every time you show up on a difficult day, you're proving to yourself that you're serious about your goals. You're strengthening your resilience, your patience, and your discipline. The traits that truly define long-term success. Growth often happens silently. You might not see it daily, but it's accumulating beneath the surface, waiting to reveal itself in time. Consistency turns potential into power. Everyone has talent, ideas, and ambition, but few have the endurance to stay the course when progress feels slow. That's why so many people start strong but fade early. They mistake early effort for lasting success. True growth is invisible for a while. You plant seeds and wait, trusting that time and effort will do their work. When you stay consistent long enough, something remarkable happens. Results begin to appear, not because of sudden luck, but because of steady labor. Ultimately, consistency is a form of respect for your goals, your values, and your own potential. It shows that you believe your dreams are worth the effort, even when they take time. Every small action becomes a declaration that you refuse to quit, that you trust the process, that you value growth more than comfort. The people who achieve lasting success are not those who work the hardest ones, but those who worked faithfully, quietly, every single day. That's how true progress is built, one consistent step at a time. Real victory is self-improvement, becoming better than who you were yesterday. Too often, people mistake success for comparison. They look at others, measure their achievements, and decide their worth based on how close they are to someone else's life. But the truth is, real success isn't about outshining others. It's about outgrowing yourself. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. Every day gives you a chance to learn, to evolve, to refine your thoughts and actions. That's what growth truly means, not perfection, but progress. When you base your definition of victory on comparison, you hand over control of your happiness to others. You feel proud only when you're ahead and miserable when someone else seems to be doing better. That mindset traps you in an endless race with no finish line. But when you focus on self-improvement, the competition ends. You start defining success by your own growth, your own effort, your own standards. You realize that the goal is not to be the best. It's to be better. Better at understanding yourself, better at handling challenges, better at giving your best in every situation. Self-improvement starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Most people want to grow, but few are honest enough to confront their flaws. They hide behind excuses or blame circumstances. But growth begins the moment you take responsibility, when you admit that your current state is not your final one. When you accept that there's room to improve, you open the door to transformation. It's not weakness to admit you can do better, it's strength. The greatest people in the world are not perfect. They are committed learners. They constantly question themselves, reflect on their actions, and seek ways to improve. Becoming better than yesterday is not about grand gestures. It's about small internal shifts, being a little more patient, a little more disciplined, a little more kind, a little more focused. It's about showing up differently than you did before. The beauty of this approach is that it's always within your control. You can't control how talented someone else is or how fast they progress, but you control your own attitude, your own consistency, and your own willingness to grow. Progress becomes a personal promise, not a public performance. Growth requires humility, the ability to accept that no matter how much you know, there's still more to learn. Many people stop growing because they start believing they already know enough. They reach a certain level of success and become comfortable there. But comfort is the enemy of progress. Real winners never stop learning because they understand that mastery is a journey without an end. Every experience, every mistake, every challenge becomes an opportunity to improve. They learn from criticism, not avoid it. They reflect on their failures, not hide them. They see every day as a classroom and every person as a teacher. Self-improvement also demands discipline. Growth is uncomfortable, and not every step feels rewarding. There will be days when progress seems invisible, when effort feels wasted. But that's when persistence matters most. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It happens in the moments you choose patience over anger, effort over laziness, and responsibility over excuses. Every small act of discipline strengthens your character. Every conscious effort to improve, no matter how minor, compounds over time. The person who improves a little each day will eventually surpass the one who relies only on talent. Focusing on self-improvement also protects your peace. When your happiness is tied to your own growth instead of external validation, you stop feeling threatened by other people's success. You start celebrating it, knowing that someone else's win doesn't take away from yours. You develop a mindset of abundance, understanding that everyone's journey is different, and your only task is to keep becoming better in yours. This mindset frees you from jealousy, anxiety, and comparison. It allows you to enjoy your progress without pressure and your learning without fear. Growth isn't linear. Some days you'll move forward, some days you'll fall back, and some days you'll just stand still. But even that's part of the process. The goal is not to be perfect, but to stay intentional. As long as you keep learning, you're still winning. Self-improvement is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. It's about evolving mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's about becoming the kind of person who inspires through example, who chooses growth over ego, and who measures success by personal evolution, not external comparison. Real victory doesn't happen when others clap for you. It happens in silence when you look back and realize how far you've come. It's in those quiet moments when you recognize that you think better, react wiser, and live truer than you once did. It's in the small transformations that no one sees but that change everything within you. Every day, life gives you another chance to be a little better than before. And if you take that chance consistently, humbly, intentionally, you've already won more than most ever will. The greatest winners lift others. Success multiplies when shared. Real success is not about standing alone at the top. It's about helping others rise with you. The people who truly win in life understand that leadership is not domination, it's contribution. When your achievements create opportunities for others, your success gains depth and meaning. You stop chasing validation and start creating value. In a world obsessed with personal gain, choosing to lift others is an act of quiet strength. It shows that your confidence is strong enough not to be threatened by someone else's growth. Helping others doesn't diminish your success, it expands it. When you share your knowledge, guide others, or open doors for those who come after you, you build something bigger than yourself. Legacy. The most impactful people are remembered not just for what they achieved, but for how they made others feel, how they inspired others to believe, and how they encouraged others to do better. Success that ends with you dies with you, but success that uplifts others outlives you. It creates a ripple effect that continues long after your personal achievements fade. Many people fear that helping others will slow their own progress. But the opposite is true. When you help others rise, you grow too. Teaching someone reinforces your own learning. Supporting someone strengthens your empathy and patience. The process of lifting others sharpens your leadership, deepens your understanding, and expands your influence. True leaders don't compete for the spotlight. They create more light so that others can shine too. The world doesn't remember those who kept success to themselves. It remembers those who used their success to make others believe that they could succeed too. When you build others up, you create trust and loyalty that no amount of power or money can buy. People naturally gravitate toward those who genuinely care about their growth. They remember the ones who gave them a chance, who believed in them when they doubted themselves, who guided them without expecting anything in return. These connections are priceless. They create communities that thrive together, teams that achieve more, and friendships that last beyond success or failure. No one truly succeeds alone. Every victory has unseen supporters, mentors, or teammates behind it. Recognizing that truth keeps you humble and grateful, and gratitude is the foundation of lasting success. The act of lifting others doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as offering encouragement, sharing a resource, or celebrating someone's effort. A kind word at the right time can change someone's direction completely. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you can't see. Sometimes your support can be the reason they don't give up. Greatness isn't only about achieving more, it's about helping others realize that they can achieve more too. Real winners don't just chase personal victories, they create victories for others. When you reach a place of success, you carry responsibility. The responsibility to make it easier for others to climb. You've learned lessons through your struggles. Sharing them makes someone else's path a little smoother. Your journey can become a map for those still finding their way. And that's what makes success meaningful, when it becomes a source of inspiration, not intimidation. True fulfillment doesn't come from being admired. It comes from knowing that your existence made a positive difference in someone else's life. The mindset of lifting others also protects you from arrogance. It reminds you that no matter how high you go, there's always more to learn and more people to help. It keeps you grounded in empathy instead of ego. When you remember what it felt like to start with uncertainty and fear, you approach others with compassion instead of judgment. You begin to see that everyone's journey matters, that greatness is not a limited resource. The world has enough room for everyone to succeed, and helping others reach their potential doesn't take away from yours. It multiplies it. There's a quiet kind of joy that comes from seeing someone you help succeed. It's different from the joy of personal achievement. It's deeper, more human. It reminds you that success isn't just about what you get, it's about what you give. When you help others win, you create a cycle of growth. The people you lift today will one day lift others, continuing the chain of empowerment. That's how real progress happens, not through competition, but through collaboration. The greatest winners in life are not the ones who build empires alone, but the ones who build people. They understand that the measure of success is not how high you climb, but how many you bring with you. Their victories are bigger because they include others in them. Their influence grows not through fear or authority, but through trust and inspiration. In the end, success that only serves you will fade, but success that serves others will echo for generations. The greatest winners know this truth. When you lift others, you don't lose your place at the top. You build a world where everyone can rise. The real key to winning in life is not found in competition, comparison, or speed. It's found in purpose, growth, and contribution. Life is not a race to the top, but a journey of becoming. Winning doesn't mean defeating others. It means defeating your own doubts, limitations, and fears. It means moving with direction instead of haste, living with purpose instead of pressure, showing up consistently instead of occasionally, improving yourself instead of comparing yourself, and lifting others instead of standing alone. When you live with these principles, success stops being a destination and becomes a way of life. The true winners are those who find meaning in their work, peace in their progress, and joy in helping others rise. They understand that fulfillment doesn't come from having more, but from becoming more. Every step guided by purpose, every day lived with integrity, and every action taken with kindness is a step toward real victory. Because in the end, the measure of your life will not be how fast you moved or how high you climbed. It will be how deeply you lived, how much you grew, and how many lives you touched along the way. That is the real key to winning in life.